Hello everyone, I'm Gayatri Charwa, partner Insanity Stories Unheard. In the words of Christopher Reese, a hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. In our very first episode of Stories Unheard, we are presenting a story of perseverance, a story of courage, of Priya Sitaraman, who's a psychologist, a spiritual coach, and one strong individual which I have had the privilege to know for many years now. So, welcoming Priya to share her story on our very first episode of Stories Unheard. Hi, Priya.
Hello, hi, good morning, good night.
Good morning, good night. Yes, we are in different time zones, and it's such a beautiful scenery behind you. And
Yes,
you fit in perfectly.
bright and sunny day.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us in our very first episode of Stories Unheard. And I have the privilege of knowing you for many years. So I would request you to say something about yourself. How do you define yourself as a person, as an individual?
Okay. Um, Thank you so much, Gayatri, for having me over on this a beautiful concept, Insanity and Her the Stories. It's my privilege too. I'm so blessed and honored to be on this platform. Um, Yeah, I am a true warrior. I'm a fighter. In fact, people would call me so because of the struggles that I have been through, the challenges. But honestly, to me, if I have to define myself, a person who is grit and determination, strength, and courage to face anything, face any battles, any struggles that life throws at me. So that's who I am. I'm a positive person. I'm a very honest and down to earth person. Yeah, in short.
Yeah, and I would definitely say, along with all of this, you are a beautiful individual in and out. And
True.
having known your story, I mean, you went through so much at different stages in your life. Um, there was the struggle with mental and emotional well-being. There was other different struggles that followed over the years. So, when did it all start? And like you being a psychologist, was it easy to understand or was it equally difficult?
Yeah, it's a very long story, Gayatri. If I have to begin how it all started, I never came to psychology as a profession or even out of passion. I didn't come to it purely by choice. It was in my late 30s or mid 30s, I would say. Uh, Due to the struggles that I had been through, and I was a different person. They basically born and raised in Chennai and moved to Pune after marriage and trying to settle down there in Pune for a longer time. And now I'm in Canada. Recently moved here. Um, the struggle all started probably soon after marriage, I would say. I went through, I had to face a lot of mental, emotional struggles, challenges that I had been through. Unknowingly, I would say 10 years passed by. I just lost my identity. I just lost the person who I was. Uh, just as I used to say sometimes to my known people that the complete one whole chapter of my life was missed. It was though I was very professionally successful at the same time doing all my responsibilities, taking care of the family and the child, doing everything that I could do in my capacity. But to me, as an individual, what did I accomplish in those more than a decade? In fact, I would say more than a decade. Um, when I look back now, oh yeah, that story, that chapter of my life was something else. I did not do anything for me, or I did not look beyond so much what was given to me in that particular scenario or in those periods. Um, yeah, those mental and emotional struggles, as I was in chronic stress, I was going through severe stress, I would say. And then without even knowing that I was going through clinical depression, it was much diagnosed very, very later stage. That's when I said just 10 years passed by, like a flip of a second. Completely, it was all lost. Now there are no regrets, because my life, my accomplishments, what I am today, and what I'm trying to achieve, even giving back to the society, everything, the community service, all my passion, living up my to my dreams, all started. Um, Maybe I would say life began after 40 for me. So right now, I think age is just a number. I would constantly keep reminding to myself that age is just a number. There are no regrets now, but there used to be days and times where no, I did not enjoy. I did not in those young age where you're supposed to explore a lot of things and pursue your passion and dreams and whatnot. I mean, people would can easily relate to it, or anybody would resonate to what I'm saying. So that those were the days, after going through severe chronic stress, and it started to manifest in my physical health. And every other day, some of the other issues used to keep cropping, and it was all those 2005, probably 5 onwards till about 2015, 2016. uh, every other visits to the hospitals, every other specialties, and trying to figure out, okay, what is going on. Of course, my health was deeply affected, without knowing that it is again mentally, emotionally. Also, I was going through the struggle. We didn't know that it was depression for a very long time. Of course, my husband has been supportive, but not to the extent of what is going on, to understand emotionally, or to be there as a emotional support. That's what we need, right? Rather than what we look for in the person, from the person next to your next door, or your kith and kin, or your spouse for that matter. Those were the things that were lacking. It was good, but he couldn't understand. He couldn't figure out, okay, how I could understand her emotionally, and how I could. I was a very docile person. I was very naive and very innocent, and I wouldn't know how to speak up for my rights. I wouldn't know what to do when something is if I'm deprived of something, I don't know how to ask for it, or I didn't know how to open up and speak up. So that those were the things that were truly lacking. My background, if I'd say, as I said, mid or late 30s, that's when I came to pursue psychology. For that matter, there's no shame, there's no nothing to be ashamed about in saying, because I was already a double postgraduate back then, from criminology and forensic and uh, digital marketing. I've served professionally. I was very successful in those times too. people wouldn't understand if I had to tell them. There was a point in time, I still remember, I still recall a close friend of mine, much later point in time, I used to tell her that I did go through clinical depression. I was very depressed. When I started to realize and open up to talk about it, they would just, oh, come on, you were so successful. You were so, you're a very different, I wouldn't believe you. And nobody would believe you that you went through a lot of struggles or, I mean, what do you see up front? What do you see now? We're talking about a lot of it. We're trying to create awareness, and you and I are working together on different social causes, social work that we're doing. That don't judge the book by its cover, right? And literally happened with me. There used to be few of my friends who wouldn't believe that I had to share that I am going through depression, or when I started to speak up, share about it to create awareness. Okay, I did go through all of it, and watch out for your signs if somebody else is going through or something that sort. People wouldn't believe me. Now it all looks like, yeah, what are the things that I went through? So yeah, it's a good, it's a reminder often. It's a reflect. I keep reflecting upon those times. So there is nothing um, wrong in admitting, or there is nothing wrong in speaking up, or to seek help for that matter. So when I came to know about, after all of these years passed by, when we actually started to look for, okay, it was, it went to a certain stage wherein I started having severe palpitations. Um, a lot of heart related problems too I started having. So that's when we realized, okay, there's something wrong, and my husband couldn't help me than taking me to a psychiatrist. So those were the days. Psychologist wasn't easy approach, I would say. And also we didn't know about it. We didn't know, there was no much knowledge or awareness for that matter. um, so when the diagnosis came in, like from my medical doctor, so he put me on to a psychiatrist, and we immediately started with psychiatric drugs. So my journey started to change after probably a year and a half of undergoing psychiatric treatment, taking those pills and drugs. Um, in those times, it was really, really pathetic, and it was, um, uh, I would say, it's kind of a reliving thing, right? Those moments are really painful sometimes. Um, I'm sorry.
No, no, please, absolutely. It's like,
Uh,
I agree with you that those are the moments that bring up that memory of where you were. And uh, I'm sorry you had to go through this. And unfortunately, even though today we are trying to create awareness, people are talking about it, there are still women, I think, who can relate to you about the way you said that you were docile, or you couldn't ask for what you wanted or what you needed, and you were doing everything to the T, like the society wanted the perfect picture of successful in business, a perfect family, a good husband. What else do we need? And nobody believes that you are going through depression, or you are going through this. Is unfortunately, I think, even many years later today, after I would say almost 18 years now, the scenario is
yeah,
still the same. I think
still the same.
everyone just looks at you, oh, she's smiling, she's happy, she has everything. But I think somewhere people forget, does she really have what she wants? Or does she have what the society wants to see.
True.
And
So
it's it's absolutely all right to be emotional, because it is a struggle, and really hats off to you for being courageous enough to speak up about it and share that story with us. How would you define the journey after, like, you started recovering? And as you said, it started the physical manifestation, and it took the physical manifestation to come in to actually go looking for what is the cause of it.
yeah,
So once
very.
that started, how did it change your life? Like, how was the change, or when did the change begin for you?
Yeah, it didn't end there. The struggle continued even after. In fact, I would say the more it started to, pinch you to the core, that in those times of those treatment options, what I was going through, and that would make me crazy. When crazy is not the word. Um, there were very many instances where I did think about giving up my life. I was this close to committing suicide. Uh, there were many such instances I would recall. I could say I used to, even then, my husband couldn't understand. He couldn't. He wasn't brought up in that way, or maybe he was a good person, but not to be able to understand these aspects and to be able to give the kind of support, morally, emotionally. That's what people lack even in today's times, right? I chose to do this story with you. I think it is much needed. It is it is uh, for people to understand, okay, what are the symptoms. It could, it's not only your mental emotional symptoms. There has to be something, when it starts to affect your physical health also. So people should understand, and also to add on that, your near and dear ones, what they should look for, or what they should notice in either in your spouse, or it could be your partner, it could be anybody. Look around, just ask for and give them support, right? If you notice something is wrong, if you notice, okay, he or she is not the person whom you know, okay, what is she, either the person is withdrawing, or just going a different route. So these are the things that I wanted always to create an awareness about. Okay, ask for help, one, and number two is give that confidence, give that trust in people, so that they can come and confide, and they can come and talk to you about it. So we often see this, people saying, either a celebrity giving up their lives, or something goes wrong. There's only social media talks for a couple of days, right? And people forget about it. So every now and then, for a couple of days, it will go on forever. Like, we are there, come and speak up. Okay, do you even ask yourself, um, because all of it, what I'm talking today, is through my experience, through my personal struggles. So have you ever given that trust and confidence in somebody, to for others to confide in you, or even to come up to you to talk and share what you're going through? So this is what people should ask. So I keep reminding, okay, I did go through it, so I make it a point that today, whatever I am, I in for the society, that I'm trying my level best to give that confidence, give that trust, give that platform, give that community support in whatever ways we can, in collaborating with people like you are a beautiful soul, and you're doing this story to bring out those struggles of people who have already gone through, right? So this is our a small initiative and effort. So that's the reason it is all coming up because of experience, right? And when I was, suicidal, also it almost a year or two, I was under this treatment, even after psychiatric treatment. So it didn't stop. It didn't end there. In fact, it gotten worse. It gotten worse, much more, much beyond what you can imagine, or what I could even describe in words now at this moment. There was a time, I still remember. So those are the days and moments, what uh, uh, like a flashback or like a rewind button. If you just say, those are very picturesque thing, which is completely present. It is live in front of us, right? It doesn't go away. It's not to relive in that past bitter memory, but it is again a reminder. It is a self-reflection. Okay, I was this. I was this person. Even today, it doesn't go away, right? Depression, what I have realized, even or as a psychologist or a therapist or the person who have gone through a lot of struggles, it doesn't go away. It didn't go away in my life. It didn't go away. I'm sorry.
No, that's absolutely all right, Priya. And you're correct. It doesn't go away. It stays with you. The memories.
Yeah.
So as you said, it doesn't really go away. The memories stay, the feelings stay. It's just that I think once you begin healing, it's just the way you deal with them or the way you look at them, the perspective changes. And
Yeah.
you were right when, in your saying, even as a therapist myself, I see that when you start the process, you actually go deeper down and hit the rock bottom. Just the other day, I was just seeing some meme on Instagram and it said, healing is not just like, this curve. It is ups and downs and ups and downs. And then you reach somewhere. And then when you are secure enough there, you again fall. I think that
Yeah.
is the journey all about. And really kudos to you for persevering through all of it. And as you said, you're doing so much for the society, giving back to the society, working in, and family, though they do support, they do try their best, but due to the lack of awareness or lack of understanding of what to do, I think that emotional connect, that mental support, that physical presence can only do so much. But I think the emotional support that one needs as they are going through the journeys, especially in cases like yours, where drugs are involved, and there are times when you actually don't know what is happening to you or why it is happening or how to come out of it. And there is just a dark tunnel with no ending. I think you rightly said that we need to do something and just be there, give that confidence to a person to be able to come to you and
Yeah.
speak to you about what is required. And you are today, through so many initiatives, working and doing exactly that, and not just professional part of you, but giving back to the society. You have so many different initiatives running simultaneously. You are doing so much of work for the society, not just in India, but now again in Canada. Can you tell us a little bit more about, after all of this, where is Priya today?
Still searching. Yeah, still reflecting. Yeah, okay. I'm not a big achiever. I'm not a great person. I'm just uh, what I am trying to do today. People call me an inspiration because what they have seen me in the constant struggle and trying to come out of it like a fighter, true spirit warrior. Yes, I did fight even life-threatening trauma, life-changing, altering events that has happened in my life. I did not give up. I chose to. So that's when I said, even once you hit or go through these chronic stress or even clinical depression for that matter, it doesn't go away. Many a times, even um, after I went into for counseling or therapy sessions, so that's when, in fact, I chose to pursue psychology to help myself first, and then to help others. So my psychology as a career, as a profession came in those period, and I started to work on myself. So there was a time. So I need to go back and then come to the question what you have asked, because there is a connection. There was a time I still remember. I was on weekly sessions in my with a psychiatrist when I was under her treatment. Um, there was a time that I didn't know what was happening. Something was going extremely. It was a weird thing. That moment, that fear is still right in front of me right now. And in my room, in my bedroom, I don't know. I wanted to scream and yell, but I could not, because I lived in a community apartment and people are there, my in-laws, and my child is there. So I didn't know what to do. I would just call up my husband. I don't know what is going on, because I feel like just giving up. I feel like jumping off the. We used to live in a fourth floor apartment. I used to tell him I didn't know what to do. Uh, I it was so weird. It was so crazy. It was so, you don't know what was going on in your body and mind, right? I I that moment changed my life. That moment I chose to fight. I chose to, because I therapies did not start till then. It was only the psychiatric drugs. It can actually, it has to go parallelly. So there, those were we didn't know about it, and no one could guide us, or there was no awareness, right? So it was only the drugs. So it did cause a lot of trouble. Those 2 years period, I would say, that moment, that day, that moment cannot be forgotten, because that changed my life. I chose to fight, because nobody else was giving me any kind of help or support. I did reach out to, because my husband, my doctor, they were the only two people whom I knew in that new city. So I decided that I have to help myself. So I need to look for that change, or I need to look for, I gathered myself. I gathered the courage. That moment, I started to Google and look for a psychologist. Somewhere I thought, okay, let me try differently, because these pills aren't helping. So I need to look for something else. So I started to Google, because there were sleepless nights, and it wasn't helping at all. The drugs didn't help me to come out of depression. It was getting weird, and it was getting even more worse than I could even imagine. And I landed up to a psychologist. I just found from Google, and I landed up to her. So she would ask me all the questions, and why did you find me, and how are you here? What brings you here? And that started to. So I started to go for counseling and therapy sessions, and a little bit of change started to come in, and my drugs were also continuing. So it has to go parallelly, because it was an extreme case of severe depression that I went through. Yeah, the life started to change from that moment onwards. And as I said earlier, I'm repeating, I chose to pursue after going to therapy for about 6 to 8 months. And then I chose to, okay, I started to identify myself. Okay, this is Priya. Yes, it was a rebirth. It was a reliving moment. It was a reborn thing for me. I started to identify who I was, who I used to be, or the chapter which was lost. I was trying to bring it and back and pick it up from there where it all went through. Okay, no more worries, no more, I would cheer myself up. And everything started to change after uh, those sessions. And I started to uh, relive my life to the extent that small little things, small little happiness, what would make me happy. 2015, 2016, probably. Yeah. That's when everything, my life started to happen. Everything, my life began after 40, I would say, again. Uh, so, uh, after going through all of this, and then the rebirth, and trying to reflect upon where I was, well, what left over, and then the change started to the transformation, the self-reflection. I wasn't wanting to come into healing or spirituality by choice, by passion. It was again truly a divine thing, a divine intervention, I would say, because I wasn't the person whom I am today. Before, as I said, I was into human resource, I was into digital marketing, I was something else till about 2016, 17, and psychology happened in that period. So all of these I pursued only to first help me to come out of the struggles what I've been through, because I wanted to fight. There was only one thought, that strength is, okay, I am stronger than I can imagine, and I am going to fight no matter what, come what may. Whatever people are there with me or not, I've gone through lot many that even in those periods, in those phases also. It didn't end even after 2-3 years. It started to affect again life threatening trauma that happened, autoimmune neuritis I was diagnosed with. So everything is like so connected. Now when we see, ponder upon and reflect, okay, it is all okay. It was something you had to go through for whom you are right now, at the person who you are right now at this point in time, right? Uh, all of it changed thanks to, in fact, I'm truly, deeply, immensely grateful to the trauma that I'd been through, or the challenges. At this point in time, this is what I would say. I always say this to myself and also to people whom I talk, whom I come across. Okay, those were the struggles that has shaped me and molded me. Now in a different country, trying to make a difference, trying to create some kind of impact here, even in this. Uh, you know what, Gayatri? I mean, now I have heard from people here, the localites, or even the Indian community people here. It's just 4 months of me here landed in Canada. People are telling me upfront to my face that what brings you here, and what kind of strength that you have got, because just in 3 months you are going super fast, and you're somewhere, they could not understand and digest, and they could not, you know, uh, they didn't know, of course, they didn't know where I am coming from and what my struggles were. And I think it all happened for a reason. It all, it's a truly divine thing, as I would say. My spiritual journey also came in due to the struggles one, and number two, purely divine. I'm again grateful to the Almighty and the divine grace and Bhavdar Babaji, that thankful for choosing me to be able to go through all of it. And then, okay, the transformation has happened. So this is where I am today. Right now, I'm not achieved many things, but yes, I'm trying to give that kind of support to people who with whoever, whatever age they are and what gender, it doesn't matter. So I'm trying to help them. That's my goal. That's my purpose. In fact, going back, flashback, rewind, 4 months ago, I wasn't wanting to come here. I wasn't happy to be able to come here. In fact, you know it better because it just happened. We weren't looking for such an opportunity. It just happened. I would constantly question, okay, why this at this age? Oh my God, I'm 44. Why at all at this age? Because people don't move or migrate at this age, right? It was so weird when the thought came in or the opportunity came in through my husband's work. I used to tell him, "You go. I'm not coming," because I was running my NGO and I was into social work. That's when I was trying to establish in the city where I landed, because it was after all the struggles, after all, last few years, that's when I was trying to put my foot down and trying to establish, and people started to, I was trying to live my life in that city, even after all of the struggles. So I said, I don't want to come. But then family, it was always there, right? For we Indians, and only child, when his career, his growth is there in a new country and opportunities just coming your way, I just had to accept it. So it was with great um, struggle, or it was with great difficulty that okay, he was the one who is giving it to me at this time. There has to be something. There's always a reason for everything, right? So that has been always my motivating, and to look up to, okay, acceptance is what I believed in, and I still believe every other day now at this point in time. Come what may, whatever it is, whatever challenges that you are given, acceptance, that's where I start from. So I accepted this offer, and then having come here initially, those times, I've never moved out of India. I've never traveled out of India. I've never, even in India, I've never traveled many places. So coming to a new country, new continent, everything was so difficult, different. But then I started to accept, okay, I can do it. Today I am here. Yeah, people started to notice me, and people know me here. I've made pretty good connections, and I've establishing, not yet established, I would say. I started my initiative, social work and mental health, suicide prevention. I'm working here and trying to make an impact through different social initiatives here as well. So this is where I am. Okay, yeah, wherever you are, just accept and move on, and it will give you all the courage, it will give you the strength, and it is for a reason. It's for a reason and a purpose. So I started to understand and accept that it's for a reason that I am here. I've been brought here, so I have to do something. So that's my goal. Yeah, this is where I am today.
You're too kind and too humble when you say that your achievements are not that much. You really have touched so many lives around you. And I have seen that firsthand. And as you rightly said, that when you just started to live, life just threw you into a total different. And I think that is where the perseverance comes in. Like, even through all the roller coasters that you went through, suddenly being thrown into a different country altogether, different places where you don't know too many people, you have still started building, as you said, it's not established yet, but you started building the base of the establishment and persevering through it again. So really, Priya, I mean, in your story, there have been moments where I literally felt that I should cry with you. It felt as if I have been there living those moments, because there are so many similarities. I think many people will find those similarities where it everyone's struggle is different. But I think the emotions, the feelings that each one of us goes through are somewhere similar. And with that, I would just like to say that really hats off to you. Is there any message that you would like to give to anyone who is listening?
For me, okay, I could only share what has been my strength. Yeah, that will be the message for all the viewers out there. Acceptance, that's the key, as I repeat myself, and the strength will come in if you start to question everything, every move in your life. Okay, why me? Why this is happening to me? There's no answer. There is no, you will keep looking back and back and forth, and it will go in a cycle. You will get caught in that vicious cycle. Um, that's the that's the one which is going to give you that strength, and you can choose to fight your battles and struggles no matter what. And it could be anything. It could be your financial, it could be your mental, emotional, or even physical. I did also go through physical trauma. As I said, it was a life threatening, it was a rebirth. Again, what I am right now today, it was 5 years, I think. Yeah, I recently wrote a post also. April 24th, 2018 is a never unforgettable day and moment in my life. It's a rebirth. That the strength will come to you if you start to accept. And no matter what, you choose to fight your battle. You can question me from anything. Okay, this is what I have gone through. You don't know about it. You don't know. So when you start comparing your struggles, okay, this is what she has gone through, it's no big deal. And what I am, if you look at your struggle as a one big whole, it's a big thing. It's you will never be able to come out of it. That's what I have realized, and I've experienced it myself firsthand too. Um, Anything, just look for positivity in every step of your way. Every step of your way, every step of your life, you will attract positivity. Once you feel, and you are what you become, right? We keep reading about it, and when you are inside, when you are negative, and this is what you're going to attract. And try to be positive, try to be around positive people. So cultivate those kind of habits, whatever it is. There can be any one small tiny bit of good thing that you can see in that whole worst scenario. Even that's a strength. That's the um, that's going to be a courageous, a perseverance that will come to you, and you will be able to um, come out of it. You will be able to fight. You will be a fighter. You will be a survivor. You will be a warrior and true spirits, right? It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely okay. And I really love that the way you put it forward. Strength will come when you start to accept. And I think with acceptance and with that strength, you will persevere. And thank you so much, Priya, for sharing your story with us. Really, I truly hope that the viewers, even if we touch one life, I think it's like more thousands of life touched. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
hope you all take something, an inspiration, a hope, and the strength to persevere from this story. And we will come up soon with our second episode of Stories Unheard. Thank you.
Thank you.